For those of you interested in sports nutrition, this video describes my upcoming course and actually starts teaching it right off the bat by defining the key concepts underlying the topic. The course is Sports Nutrition, Medicine 46, Stanford Continuing Studies, which starts Monday, 29 September 2025. Hello, I am Dr. Clyde. I'm going to read my essay that I just wrote for you here. And I've taught sports nutrition at Stanford 18 times within the Department of Athletics and for the public through continuing studies. This year, we have an amazing opportunity to expand our collaboration as participants in this course between me as the instructor and you as the student, who is looking for pragmatic information that you can productively use in your everyday life. Our collaboration is expanding as a result of AI. AI is an amazing tool for keeping up with the research literature and what recommendations are being made by the most respected governing authorities in sports nutrition and in other areas of knowledge. This course is being entirely refreshed and expanded using these amazing tools, guided by our innate human intelligence, which is able to error correct AI's inherent tendency to integrate our biases into its search and to hallucinate with slop created by its underlying function of copying what it was trained on, meaning that AI does not do any actual thinking. Therefore, when I say AI reports or says something, I'm actually referring to the results of an internet or literature search using AI to expand the power of that search by orders of magnitude. We must then supply the intelligence, which is the final integrative step of error correction for the best generalization of knowledge that is currently possible, and for the personalization of that knowledge based on each person's goals and the context of their unique individual lives. AI is an amazing co-pilot that expands our view of what information exists while also expanding the errors within that information. This reminds me of walking my dog because Pongo, spelled with a P like push, rushes me forward at warp speed, and the faster we go, the more likely he is to run into the street and get hit by a car if it were not for my error correcting his journey. Pongo accelerates my progress, but only if I keep us sensible. In the same way, AI can accelerate our progress only if we continuously guide its search and its results in an expansive loop of sound reasoning. Here's the course description from the Stanford Continuing Studies website. Coordinating nutrition with exercise dramatically improves exercise benefits such as weight loss, health, including immune strength, and fitness. In this course, we will examine how nutrition for performance addresses delaying fatigue, driving adaptation, and speeding recovery. Delaying fatigue requires hydration and fuel supply, and speeding recovery demands a broad spectrum of targeted nutrients. Adaptation, the body's ability to improve through changes in gene expression, is also highly influenced by nutrition. For example, both protein and carbohydrate refueling soon after exercise are critical to stimulating our DNA to initiate muscle healing, and both unsaturated fats and antioxidants in recovery meals are critical to increasing fat burning and therefore endurance. This course will review the science of sports nutrition and will guide you in applying this information to your own sports nutrition program. The important foundations of your program are separated into what you are consuming during and right after exercise, calories, fluids, electrolytes, and throughout the rest of your day, meals, snacks, hydration. By covering both theory and application, the course will be equally relevant to those interested in the science and those wanting to improve their exercise results. What I would add to this course description is that AI will enable us to gather research information on questions and discussion points at a much faster rate than in the past. We are in an age of amazing progress if we harness AI as a tool rather than turning our thinking over to AI, which at its core is designed to copy its training, meaning its output is a complex reflex that is not actually thinking. We will cover each topic systematically through a sequence of steps. 1. Defining each concept in basic terms, such as what is protein and why should I care? 2. How to apply these concepts to everyday life. How much of what foods should I eat? 3. We will compare and contrast the recommendations from the most respected organizations. 4. We will use AI to expand and update our knowledge to include the most cutting-edge results. 5. We will address any current controversies on each topic, including electrolytes, calories, carbs, protein, fats, ketosis, fasting, timing, refueling, recovery meals, antioxidants, and supplements. 6. Differences in data and opinion, as well as your questions and talking points, will be viewed as opportunities to learn and grow as a team, using this dynamic to circle back to AI with our refined questions about research findings to further empower our internal thought process. 7. While this renaissance in our ability to harness information within the context of our thought process will bring clarity to the chaotic maelstrom of information, the value of this information is ultimately based on its applicability to our everyday lives. The best information is both valid and useful. So, we will continuously ground our discussion in how we can apply what we are learning to benefit us directly, which is the entire focus of the homework assignments. 8. It is my hope that each student can have an immersive experience within this course that speaks to where they are, which is their point A, and where they are wanting to go, which is their point B, within the context of their unique individual lives. This would enable each person to take point A, who they are internally in this current moment, with them to point B so that they stay their authentic selves throughout the process of achieving their goals. So, let's start the course right now in this very moment. Instead of rethinking the course for almost the 20th time by sifting through the scientific literature on my own, let's start from a blank slate and ask AI some fundamental questions to get us started. We can then compare that to our own internal thought process to create value in AI's results. Question 1. What is sports nutrition? Or what is the goal of sports nutrition? One of AI's answers is that sports nutrition addresses the dietary needs created by physical activity to optimize performance, recovery, and overall health and fitness, which includes body composition and in athletics is referred to as power to weight ratio. I like AI's answer because it gives equal emphasis to the desired results of health and performance, together with the path for achieving these results, which is health and recovery. Health is clearly a goal in itself, but it is also the foundation for iteratively improving performance over time by avoiding overtraining, which research shows is 84% due to undernutrition. The widely known concept of being athletically fit but unhealthy sits at the core of failed exercise results. For example, fat burning declines when not recovering from exercising, not only for athletes, but also for novices who have only been exercising for a few weeks, as published in Cell Metabolism in 2022. Other studies show how insufficient nourishment increases body fat in athletes by 0.3% per hour until sufficient food is finally consumed. Until then, fat loss is replaced with fat gain as exercise recovery is replaced by muscle breakdown from cortisol and a lower fertility strength in both males and females, contributing directly to the athlete triad, which is now defined for both sexes. Question 2. What are the top most respected organizations providing sports nutrition guidance? AI's answer is an exact match to what I have used for my courses for the past quarter century, with the exception of the core source from which those organizations ultimately draw from. 1. The International Olympic Committee, or IOC. 2. The American College of Sports Medicine, ACSM. 3. The Academy of Nutrition and Dietetics, whose acronym is AND. 4. The National Strength and Conditioning Association, or NSCA. 5. The International Society of Sports Nutrition, or ISSN. All of these top organizations providing sports nutrition guidance ultimately start their thought process from the deeper core concept of nutrition for basic health, as outlined by the National Academy of Medicine, NAM, also known as the Institute of Medicine until 2015. The NAM is a part of the independent, nonprofit National Academies of Sciences, Engineering, and Medicine, NASEM. The nutritional recommendations of the National Academy of Medicine are referred to as the dietary reference intakes, DRIs, which include and expand on their recommended dietary allowances, RDAs. These guidelines are updated regularly, but not often enough to keep up with the rapidly changing nutrition topics of interest as they arise. In other words, the DRIs are the most thoroughly researched advice for how to eat for basic health, thereby serving as the ideal launch point from which to expand into sports nutrition. The clarity of its thorough scientific approach to analyzing human nutritional needs is the reason that the National Academy of Medicine is the main source of information used by the World Health Organization, WHO, and to educate clinical dietitians. This is why we will be including the source material of the NAM and how it is interpreted by the WHO as the starting point for healthy eating within the broader concept of sports nutrition in this class. From there, we dive straight into what is recommended by the IOC, ACSM, AND, NSCA, and ISSN, ultimately simplifying the entire comparison down to what a snack in the hand or food on the plate looks like. Question 3. What are the most important topics in sports nutrition? AI's answer is a mix of responses that can be separated out into what to eat, when to eat, and water, which I refer to as the 3 W's of nutrition, with the additional W of why. AI's what to eat response includes the macronutrients, micronutrients, translating these into what foods to eat and what amounts, and supplements. The when to eat part is phrased as timing, and the water or hydration part includes electrolytes and fluids other than water, like coffee and sports drinks. AI tells us that the most discussed sports nutrition supplements at this time are the same as they were over a decade ago, meaning creatine and those related to various aspects of protein, but there are many others. The why response of AI refers to topics related to goals, including physical function, body composition, and avoiding overtraining. AI also lists topics related to bridging the gap between health and fitness, including immune and endocrine strength, as well as gut microbiota and other critical factors. Question 4. Why haven't you signed up for the course yet? I actually asked this, to which AI replied that the course might be full, so I might be on the wait list. I love that answer, but in reality, you don't have to worry about that yet. Only 20 have signed up this week, and the course is limited to 80 students. I feel like any more than 80 limits my ability to interact with individuals directly so that they get my personal attention in their learning process. I look forward to your joining me in this journey on this sports nutrition endeavor, immersive process. See you soon.